Hey, how's it going, guys? Jack and Matt here with the Toasty Bros, and you guys seemed to liked when we picked up an old Dell Alienware laptop, so now we got the counterpart, a Dell Alienware computer.
This right here is one of their compact gaming PCs from a few years ago, featuring a 6th Gen i5 and a GTX 960, and it was only like 350 bucks. Can it actually game still? We're about to find out, but first, a word from today's sponsor. Today's video is brought to you by ProtoArch and their EM01 wireless RGB trackball mouse, which uses a thumb-controlled trackball, which is designed to improve ergonomics when using it for gaming or pretty much anything else. It also includes a beautiful RGB design with 4 lighting effects, including bloom, breathing, blend, and neon, along with a 0 to 20 degree angle adjustment option to tailor the mouse to your needs. Whether you're a gamer or somebody who just uses your PC 24/7, you most certainly need to consider ergonomics when using a mouse, and the EM01 from ProtoArch should be on your short list. Check the link down below to learn more to pick one up today, and special thanks again to ProtoArch for sponsoring today's video.
So just like the Dell laptop, we bought this on eBay for what we think was a pretty good price. Dell Alienwares are really starting to come down, especially the old one, because honestly, they've really advanced and they've started to really match their price versus performance. So back in the day, Alienware was known for really overcharging for pretty bad specs. So I would not be surprised if this guy right here was well over $1,000 when it came out.
So let's go ahead and open this thing up and see what we have inside. Choose your weapon. I choose you.
All right, so let's get this thing opened. So yeah, this obviously looks like it's gonna be pretty small. I don't think it's gonna be quite like a mini PC where it fits in like the palm of your hand, but I don't think it's gonna be too far off from that.
Probably in between like a mini PC and whatnot. If I were to guess, it's gonna be similar to that one AliExpress mini PC we bought that, well, ended up not working with the GPU
You guys
drivers
never got
installed.
to see that.
I can grab it for scale because it's actually just sitting over there, so.
Yeah, all right, well, let's, got a lot of bubble wrap. They did, wow, really good job packing this. Okay. They have bubble wrap that leads to smaller bubble wrap.
Okay, nice.
It's a good thing we got a knife.
But yeah, this does say it comes with a 960, like a standard 960. I didn't do a ton of research into this model to see if it came with like a 960M, like a laptop would. I would imagine it probably is an M processor, but we'll verify that once we actually get everything opened up.
Yeah, that used to be really common. They don't really do that much nowadays. They don't really have a lot of M processors because they finally realized like how to get them in. I'm trying to like get this open quick enough.
Well, look at that. It's tiny.
The table. So we got a little crazy.
There's a lot of tape.
Crazy. Get that off, get that off. Got our charger out. All right.
Now let's take a look at this thing.
So this looks just like an old console. It's kind of cool to see. It came with this 180 watt power brick. That definitely gives me mobile vibes for this graphics card, because I wouldn't think that 980 watts would be enough for the i5, you know, RAM and that graphics card. Looks like we have, what is this right here?
Expandability?
Is that a USB port?
It is a USB port.
I guess for like a USB thumb drive, that might have been their only form of expandability back then, just because they didn't really want you opening these. So on the front, we got this nice Alienware power button. We have 2 USB 3s. On the sides, we have nothing. Just nice and blank. And then on the back, we actually have 2 USB 3s. We have an Ethernet in. We have an HDMI in and HDMI out, which is interesting. Okay, a GPU dock, because back in the day that was kind of popular. Here's our DC in, and then we have one of those, what is it, SPDIF or whatever. So I mean, okay, pretty basic. I don't know if this is something, what do we think? Is this something we actually want to open up, or do we just
We should probably check if it actually works.
We're gonna check if it works?
Yeah,
you want to open it up first?
Let's check if it works
break it
first, and then we'll think about it. On live action with this.
All right, so Matt had a good idea to verify that everything works first. So we have our i5-6400T, which is a 4-core 4-thread. You gotta remember, up until about 8th and 9th gen, i3s and i5s are just kind of eh. We have 8 gigs of RAM. It says slot 1 of 1 used, 2133 megahertz. So it is actually, should be DDR4 at that speed. It looks like we have a 240 gig CT. I wonder if that's Corsair? No, not Corsair, Crucial.
Crucial, maybe. Yeah.
And then we have what appears to be, it says GTX 960, and it's 4 gigs of dedicated RAM, which I would think like the M would have only had 2, but I think the only way we can really like totally verify is based on how the game runs, and also just making sure in the NVIDIA software it still says 960.
So yeah, what we're gonna go ahead and do is download some games, get to the benchmarking, and talk more about what we find once we dive deeper into it.
Alright guys, now that we have this Alienware PC all booted up and ready to go, let's talk about a few benchmarks real quick. Now we decided to test this PC in a couple of titles, those being Fortnite, Apex Legends, Cyberpunk, and Warzone. Now first up in Fortnite, on performance mode at 1080p, we end up getting an average of actually 100 plus FPS. Do keep in mind, during the first two games, Fortnite and Apex Legends, MSI Afterburner for some reason was not picking up the 960, so you see that 0% usage up there. It was definitely being used. You will see later on the benchmarks it actually started working properly. But as you can tell in esports titles, this little console-like PC from Alienware is still very capable of getting 60 plus, 100 plus FPS. So your games like Fortnite, Valorant, CSGO, Rocket League, all those games, I think it'd be very capable for something like that. And especially at the $300 to like $350 price point, given the market, getting some of the 960 is still a pretty good deal, given the fact that 960s on their own go for a little over $100 right now. Next up in Apex Legends, a game that is definitely more GPU dependent than Fortnite and other esports titles. On 1080p low settings in arenas mode, we actually got a 60 FPS experience, and I didn't feel like I was at a disadvantage at all on this PC. Yeah, the 960 is a bit old of a card, but it's still very capable in most esports games, as I mentioned with Fortnite and all those other titles. The only thing that really holds this thing back is the CPU. That i5-6400T really only boosts up to about 2.5 gigahertz, and it is only a quad core. And this is back before those really small CPUs were able to get really powerful like they can nowadays with these laptops and mini PCs that exist in the market from the likes of AMD and Intel. So getting a older quad core that is very low power is going to hold you back in newer games, but it doesn't mean this thing is completely unusable, as you can see from the benchmarks we've done so far. Now we decided to test this in a couple of really demanding situations, because most of the time when we do these budget mini PCs, we really just want to focus on the fact of things it can actually do without showing you the things it can't do. So we're going to go ahead and show you some of the things it most certainly can't do, which is Cyberpunk at 1080p on low settings using the built-in benchmark. We end up getting an average of 24 FPS. In theory, if you're just looking for a 30 FPS experience, you could go 720p and probably get there, but I wouldn't really recommend it. And the same goes with Warzone, a very GPU dependent game, and the fact that i5 was pinged at 100% usage. Running just a quad core in Warzone is not a good idea at all. And we were running 1080p 66% resolution scale, and we were getting about 40 to 50 FPS, but that was indoors, which normally boosts the FPS by like 10 or 15 or so frames, and there's a lot of stutter. It was not a great experience, so I wouldn't really recommend it for that. But in the market right now for about $300 to $350, I think this is a pretty decent buy, especially if you want a living room PC or a home theater PC setup that can actually play some games that you might want to play from a couch instead of keyboard and mouse setup if you want to run a controller or something like that. Now, of course, your buying may vary because we picked it up on eBay. When you buy something on eBay, the price can vary, but I would say anywhere between $300 to $350 would be a fair price for something like this. And if you want to try to hunt for one yourself, links in the description down below will be an affiliate link. It will help us out. And it was really cool to take a look at an old Alienware gaming desktop, more specifically an old Alienware compact mini PC that actually can do some cool stuff. So yeah, check the links down below. Now that we finished the benchmarking section of today's video, how to bring Jackson back in here to wrap this video up real quick.
All right, everyone, we just benchmarked this little guy right here, and it actually did pretty good. We really did find that 960 actually is really not a mobile processor. It actually worked out pretty well. One thing to keep in mind, though, is that this is a 6th gen i5, and it's a T processor, meaning it's low power. So 4 cores and 4 threads and low power, well, yeah, not the greatest. It was obviously kind of holding back the 960, surprisingly.
And there is that external GPU dock, which I wouldn't really recommend even implementing because the CPU is going to hold it back so much. But as is, at around $300 to $350, it does beat out some mini PCs because it has a dedicated graphics card in it. So for that purpose, if you want to do some deal hunting and try to find one of these bad boys, a link in the description down below will be an affiliate link. It will help us out. And it's pretty cool to check out this very compact Alienware PC.
So as always, we hope you guys enjoyed this little mini PC. If you haven't already, check out our other 2 YouTube channels and also our twitch.tv/toastybros, and do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe.
And we'll see you guys in the next one.
Peace.
Goodbye.
And hey, at PC Bros, we have all kinds of mini PCs, tablets, laptops, gaming computers, cheap computers, we got it all.
Everything you want and more. PCBros.tech. Check out our website and use code ToastyBros2 on checkout because you heard it here to save 2% when you buy something from our website. See you guys later. Goodbye.